Greetings everyone, my name is John Sifiso Mazibo. Today I want us to speak on a topic, discipline. And before we start with the topic, discipline, I just want to do a disclaimer. Whatever that I'm going to say, whatever that I'll be speaking about does not represent my employer, and it does not represent the institution that I work for. So everything that I'm going to say here, it's a personal opinion based on my experiences, based on the knowledge that I've acquired in the previous years through studying and through practice. So yeah, thank you. I want us to speak about discipline, and the reason why I want us to speak about discipline is simply because discipline has become a very one of those things that we speak mostly about, and we tend to take the blame and put it on one another. You hear parents blaming the school and the school blaming parents. You hear parents saying, I cannot take my child into school number X, and simply because of they believe school number X cannot instill discipline. Whereas schools will be blaming parents and say that parents aren't doing their job when it comes to discipline. And we need to look at it, whose job is it to put discipline or to instill discipline. And if we go and look at the definition of what discipline is, discipline is basically a practice of guiding behavior towards positive outcomes through values and accountability. So basically, it's when you participate in the behavior of your own child. It's when you participate in the behavior of a child, and when you participate, you are guiding that behavior to bring positive outcomes. You are guiding that behavior towards values that you have instilled or values that you believe in. And we cannot then say that a school can instill discipline because the school has values that they believe in, and some of those values may not be values that you believe in as an individual, and may not be even values that you of your own perspective, because we can have the same value, respect, but only to find that how we see respect is different, and how a school sees respect is different. So we cannot take that responsibility and give it to a school. It's a responsibility of a parent. It's my responsibility as a parent to instill discipline to my kids. And discipline does not only end there in creating this positive, outcome, but it also deals with self-control and respect. It enforces self-control and respect. When you are going to speak about self-control, we're going to speak about respect. That must start from home, where a child is guided in terms of how to control themselves. So you have kids that have anger, and you wonder, where is the anger coming from? But the anger comes from not being directed. The anger comes from this child growing up, seeing things here at home, seeing things from outside. And when the child behaves in that manner here at home, no one is there to guide that child. No one is there to show him how to control himself whenever he's in a situation that creates anger, or is in a situation that forces him to, to be angry. And then also how your child speaks to people. It must start from home. You have cases where a parent come and say, mina ungihlulile umntanami, or mina lo mntwana ngisayingeni indaba yakhe, or this child 1 2 3. Once you say ungihlulile lo mntwana as a parent, it means that you have failed the responsibility that God gave you. Because when he gave you this child, when God gave you this child, he gave you as a blessing, and you need to take care of that blessing. You need to direct that blessing. You need to make sure that everything that happens with this blessing is according to how God wants you to create it, or to grow that blessing, or to increase it, because the Bible speaks about us increasing, and everything that we do must increase. So even when God gives you that blessing of a child, you must make sure that as the child grows, as the child increases in all areas, the child has respect. It also speaks about it starts at home. Parents model and reinforce discipline. You can never instill discipline if you are not disciplined yourself. So we cannot have a situation where we say a child must be disciplined, but you're not disciplined as a parent. You must say, my child, you need to do 1 2 3. You need to show respect, and you must respect people. Let's make a simple example. We speak about comments. For example, a child comes to you and say, "Esikolweni bafuna 1 2 3." Immediately when you say "Esikolweni bayahlanya," why bafuna 1 2 3? Knows Guti, you are no longer modeling that respect. Your child will say the same thing to the teachers. Your child will say the same thing to others. So Guti, whenever they are speaking something that they don't agree with, will say bayahlanya. And that's not modeling respect. That's not modeling discipline. When we model discipline, remember it's a practice. You're doing discipline. Discipline is not just taking a stick and beating your child. Your child must understand why something must be done in a certain way. Your child, these are the outcomes that if they do something in this way or they do something in this way, this is what is going to happen. So that is discipline, that is modeling discipline. What I do is what I'm expecting my children of. When it comes to school, the school has a role now of taking what you have instilled in your child, guiding it, growing, improving it, instead of saying that a school must start from scratch in instilling discipline. It cannot. A school has more than 1,000 children. It cannot instill discipline in all these children. But they need to be guiding what you have done at home. And if you have done your job at home, if you have instilled discipline at home, your child is disciplined when they are at home. But when they come to school, then there is this discipline that starts you are called at school. Then you can then blame and say, there is something that the school might not be doing correct or might not be doing right. But if you are not doing anything when it comes to discipline, you expect the school to do discipline or to instill discipline for yourself, then you're not doing your part as a parent. That is discipline. And we need to, and we're looking at this topic because in South Africa you have cases at school where learners are beating teachers. You have cases even in our community where these kids are beating adults. You have cases of sexual harassment in school. All these things, one of the biggest issue in schools is bullying. And bullying is simply because of discipline. One child might not be disciplined and therefore will bully others. And that bullying starts from someone. So we're speaking of this because it's a big issue. And as parents, we need to be dealing with this issue. We need to come and say, let me make sure that my child, is disciplined. How then do we instill discipline? Number one, you need to set clear boundaries and expectation. When we speak about setting clear boundaries and expectation, this is where now you explain to your child that you can't come to a child and say that you must not watch too much TV, you must study. And you are not giving the child clear boundaries. You are not giving the child expectation. Now, when you speak about boundaries, you are going to say you are going to watch TV from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock only. Whatever that you want to watch, you can watch it during that time. Or you make the children choose the time. Remember, whatever that they love or to watch on TV may be playing at different time. You make them choose 1 hour. And then all the other time, then on this time, you are going to be doing these chores. On this time, you are going to be studying. Now that is clear boundaries. Now you speak about the expectation. This is my expectation from you studying, from you spending 1 hour on TV. This is the expectation. Remember, when you study so much, at the end of the day, I need to see you passing. You can't just say, Gumtwana, he must study so much, but there are no expectation. When I say expectation again, let's talk about when a child starts a year, you must have goals together with your child, not your child. You and your child, you must have goals, whereby you sit together and say, okay, this is how we have achieved in the previous year. This year, we are planning to achieve level 5 in mathematics. And if you are going to achieve level 5, this is how much time we must put in studying. These are how much resources we need to make sure that we get this level 5. And if we have level 5, how do we get to level 6? And now you are putting clear boundaries. You are putting goals. You are setting goals together. The expectation at the end of the day is known that I need to achieve a level 5 for mathematics. But now if you're going to say you must pass this mathematics, but there is no expectation. When the child passed the mathematics is get a level 4, you're shouting that he's failing mathematics. You never gave him a clear expectation. So it's very important that the boundaries and the expectation are very clear so that the child knows and everything that the child does, and then it's according to their boundaries and expectation. Number 2 is modeling appropriate behavior. Guys, we can never say children must not do 1 2 3, but we do it. Let me make an example. One of the things that we love or enjoy, majority of us, is drinking a Coke from the bottle. Going inside the fridge, drinking that bottle inside the fridge, from drinking that Coke from the bottle, that taste, it can never be matched with anything. But you can't say your children must not do that, and then your children finds you doing that, or you do it in front of your children. Rather, wake up at 3 o'clock when everyone is sleeping and do that, at least, and then you will be doing whatever that you want. But you can't say children must not do 1, 2, 3, but you find yourself doing it. For example, I always make this example. You can't expect your kids not to drink when they are old, but you take them to a park during these holidays. Christmas is 16th December, you take them to a park, you say, no, they are going to play, they are going to swim, everyone is having alcohol there. No, that child is going to grow knowing that alcohol is fine, and it's fine to take your kids together going there, and you come back, you are driving, you were drunk, you were drinking, you were drinking there, you are drunk, you come back, you are driving a car with your children. What kind of modeling is that? What behavior are we modeling to children if we do that? Number 3 is providing guidance and supervision. We spoke about the issue of setting clear boundaries and expectation. Now that you have set that, you have set the study time, you have set all these things, the question is, who's supervising? Are you guiding this child, or you just put expectation? We want level 5. You don't supervise, you don't guide this child. At the end of the day, we must guide this child. You must do supervision for this child, so that at the end of the day, whatever that you achieve together, if you achieve that level 7, you have achieved it together. If the child cannot achieve that level 7, you are part of the supervision. You know the problems that the child encountered. But if you're not part of it, then you will never see those things. Then number 4 is encouraging self-discipline. You must encourage it. We're not just putting things and shouting at kids, but we must encourage them. We must give them the positive outcome, or the outcomes of discipline, of self-discipline, that if you are disciplined, this is what is going to happen to you. So it's very important that as well. Using positive reinforcement. Guys, when you have put boundaries, you have put expectation. When your child has respected those boundaries, your child has, met those expectations, reinforce with positive, use positive reinforcement, meaning that now have prizes, have things that you're going to give your child as a prize, as a gift, to say, thank you for doing this. You are encouraging that discipline. You are reinforcing it. You are giving prizes to that behavior or those actions. So that is also very important to say that if you achieve that level 7, we're getting that laptop. If the child wants a laptop, if the child wants PS5, you're getting that PS5. But this is the expectation. These are the boundaries. The child does as expected, as you have set the goals together. Then give that child a prize. Give that child that thing. Addressing misbehavior constructively. When your child has misbehaved, when a child is found to be in an issue, whether at school, whether at home, do it constructively. Meaning that come together, sit together with your child, then show him the bad side of this thing. Show him what this thing can give as the results at the end of the day. Show him, if he continues, what is going to happen. Don't just come and shout. Take that child, you beat that child. I'm not saying don't beat it. Don't beat your child if that's the way of instilling discipline. If that's the way, then do it, but also sit the child down and speak about that misbehavior. Speak about it in a constructive way, that you find that the child is able to learn from that misbehavior. Another one is collaborating with schools. It's very important to always keep in contact with the school, knowing what is happening to your child. Some parents, they don't even know they are, class teachers for their children. A parent can come at the end of the year, is coming to collect a report card, and is looking for the class teacher. They don't know. They just know that my child is doing grade 6. Whether it's 6A, 6B, 6D, they just don't know. It's worse when it comes to the class teacher again. They don't know those things. So it's very important to keep in contact, so that you know whether the behavior at home and the behavior at school is aligned. Why is that important? Remember, your child can behave very well in front of you because you have those positive reinforcement, you have those prizes that the child needs to get. But when they get to school, they are mixed up with other kids. There are other behaviors from other kids that are coming. They influence this child, and this child behaves differently. This child causes problems. This child do things at school. But now you don't know that because you never go, you don't go to school. You don't speak to the teachers. You don't collaborate with the teacher. So it's very important. And I've witnessed cases where a child has, a double behavior. At home behaves in this way, when it comes to school behaves this way. So it's very important that we look into that and we make sure that we collaborate with the school. And the last one is nurturing emotional support. it's very important again which we look into our kids' emotion. These kids, they go through a lot these days, and they listen to so many people who will speak things that will put them in spaces whenever they become emotional, then they can take the wrong decisions, issues of suicidal, issues of bullying and stuff like that. They come from, a space of being emotional and not having support. A child has been beaten at school, a child has encountered other kids who are doing the wrong things to them. Instead of coming to you, they know you're not going to support that child, you don't want to listen to him or her, and then they decide to take it to their own hands and say that I'm going to return the favor, I'm going to bully them, or I'm going to bully others because this one is bullying me, I'm scared of them, I'm going to take this thing because it's emotional to me, it's hurting me inside, I'm going to take it to other kids. So it's very important that you understand your child. Whenever your child behaves differently, whenever your child starts to become too quiet, you understand that my child now, he's not in his own mind, something wrong is happening to him. Then you can be able to talk, you can be able to deal with the situation together. So this is the topic of discipline. Now, this can never be done by shouting. This can never be done by beating the child, only by shouting at the child, but it needs you to be able to have a strategy. It needs you to become consistent. You cannot do it once and then you see positive results and then it's done and then everything has been put aside. No, we need to continuously come and check, monitor this behavior, come and check and support this child. And it's a job that doesn't end. Whether your child, you started at the age of 3, now they're 11 years, they know this routine, they know this thing, they know this is the expectation at home, they know these are the principles, these are the values at home, but it continues until the child is old and they can stand on their own, meaning that when your child has finished their degree, they have started working, now they are on their own, they start their own family, then you can let go. But when your child is at matric, when your child is at university, they still need you to instill that discipline. They still need you to make sure that they are still on the right route. And that is what I wanted us to speak about today. So thank you so much. If you are here to this end of this session, you've been listening to me. So yeah, next time until we give another episode, stay tuned. My name is John Sifiso Mazibuko. Thank you so much.